With everybody talking about making America healthy again, I thought today'd be a great day to talk to all my fellow patriots about the importance of making your homes healthy again. Well, we have proudly partnered with airwaterhealing.com and their revolutionary whole home air purification system. The V3 from Air Water Healing does 3,000 square feet of purification. It eliminates dust, mold, viruses, and odors. But here's the part I love. They require no filters to ever be changed and virtually no maintenance. Whether you suffer from asthma, allergies, seasonal bronchitis, or just want to protect your family from the flu or even greater threats, don't wait to get your V3 from airwaterhealing.com today. Use code Lindell for 20% off in savings and free shipping. That's promo code Lindell at airwaterhealing.com. Let's face it, you can't trust Big Pharma. They've already tried to block ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and raise prices on everything from antibiotics to your daily meds. Well, there's good news. All Family Pharmacy is standing up for medical freedom and helping people get the treatments they actually want. My family and I use them all the time. They made it easy and affordable without the runaround. While other pharmacies are jacking up prices, they've actually dropped theirs. Ivermectin now starts at just $2 a capsule. Use my promo code Lindell10, you get an extra 10% off of that. You need ivermectin, antibiotics, or methylene blue, you name it, they've got it. They make it simple. You fill out a short online form, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your meds ship fast right to your front door. If you want to be prepared and have your medications on hand, this is your new pharmacy. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code Lindell10 saves you even more. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code Lindell10. Have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? Well, I recently saw a video he made and I was shocked. That guy's amazing and he's staying active well into his 80s. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and even has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. He did this by just making one change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing too, and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger, her body looks leaner, and she has energy all day. Chuck made a very special video that explains everything. Make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/Lindell. It will change the way you think about your health. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/Lindell. You won't believe how simple it is. To celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7, I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.
You ever see this guy with the pillows on Fox? My pillow guy, Mike Lindell. He is the greatest. The My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. And he's been with us right from the beginning.
Valley issue a proclamation stating that our city is a Second Amendment sanctuary city.
Welcome to the fire. Today on Church and State, we'll be joined by special guest Mike Lindell. Hello, Christian Patriots, and welcome to Church and State, where we drive morality and religion over tolerance and apathy. And I'm your host, Caleb Collier, once again your favorite far-right shock jock, and the show that talks about politics and religion. Jesus Christ is our referee, so it's always nice and clean. Head on over to churchandstate.media and share this episode. We'll be joined by Mike Lindell, as I told you, and we're going to be talking about his recent win, election integrity. It's going to be a show that you're going to want to share with your friends and family and neighbors. While you're there, please peruse through some of our great affiliates, including MyPillow. And, of course, do hit that donate button, because that keeps us on the air. As I tell you all the time, it's expensive doing what we're doing. And if you can see fit to put in a monthly donation, it certainly helps. Lastly, if you want to get a hold of us, Church and State 1776 at proton.me. With that, let's go ahead and start this episode. I'll be joined here by Mike Lindell. If you don't know who he is, my question is, do you even patriot? This is a man who's given up so much for this country, and for that I truly respect him. He's the owner of MyPillow, some great materials there. You can check those out at churchandstate.media. In fact, I was telling Mike I slept on a MyPillow and my sheets last night, and it was great. He's also the owner of Lindell TV, lots of great shows that you can see on there, and also Mike Lindell Defense Fund. We'll be talking about that quite a bit. So, Mike, thank you for joining us on Church and State.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. And the compliment that I gave you, you really have given all. You're one of those individuals who really puts his money where his mouth is, as it were. The deep state came after you, something fierce, and you just would not bend a knee.
Well, if you've seen what I've seen and know what I know, we lose our country unless we secure our elections. And, you go back to 2021 when the first machine company sued Fox News. It started lawfare in our country. Over 100 individuals and platforms were sued by them, including MyPillow. And we'll be talking about that. But I said way back then, as I poured millions of dollars into help, trying to get rid of these machines, go to paper ballots and sound the alarm. And I said, you know what? It don't matter. I don't care if I have to end up borrowing money. I'm never going to shut up. They tried to silence me by destroying everything. And the last thing, it's kind of funny, this trial we'll be talking about, the first trial I was the only one that brought this all the way to jury trial. Everyone else had either their insurance companies settled or they just settled because they were afraid to go bankrupt or be just wiped off the map. And this is the last thing in May, the trial we had in Colorado, when I was the only one bringing all the way to jury trial, which MyPillow won. But they still have money that I owe there, that they said that I did nothing malicious. I believe what I say, but they still put out a couple $1 million penalty. But the last thing, the lawyer for this machine company and their affiliates said to the jury, the last thing I heard before they went in to deliberate was, we all know Mike Lindell had a net worth of like $60-70 million, and now you've all heard he's $10 million in debt. But he says, we're asking you, the jury, to award $60 million or more to us. And because we need to, and if this bankrupts MyPillow and Mike Lindell, so be it, because we need to send a message to the country that you do not put out disinformation about our election platforms like Mike Lindell has. This is what he said to the jury, and the judge let him say this. It was disgusting.
It truly is. I mean, what happened to the First Amendment? And I would hope that the jurors would truly understand their position. And, I mean, obviously they did, and we can talk about that, where you did have a victory.
Right. Yeah. Well, out of that one, they came back and they said, MyPillow, 100% vindicated. Now, you guys, how important this is if MyPillow would have been found guilty, imagine every podcast, every TV station, every radio station, if they get sued for defamation, and then you sue the sponsors, nobody would advertise anymore. It would ruin the country. It'd be over. So that was a big victory. Now, the judge had already told the jury that yes, I did defame him. Yeah, she said something she shouldn't have said. And she also let in this thing called the $5 million challenge, which and we'll bring that up in a minute. She brought this in, even though it was in appeal. She let this be put out in the courtroom, and then she suppressed us with Lindell TV. Wouldn't let me talk on my own radio or TV station as this 2-week trial was going on. So when the juries got done there, they awarded, it's like 2.3 million. My pillow indicated, but myself and the old Frank speech, 2 point some million. They didn't know what to do. They even asked the judge, well, according to free speech, he's done nothing wrong. It was very peculiar ruling, but anyway, as God would have things, I think I just did a big speech in Las Vegas, divine intervention, and here about 2 weeks ago, this case, and I'm going to tell everyone about this. You go back to the cyber symposium I had in August of 2021, when I brought in all cyber guys, the evidence I had at that time. I invited the cyber experts on this, cyber people, and the media and politicians all in one place in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It was you look it up, it was very, opened up a lot of people's eyes. But during that, to get people there, I put out all over every station a $5 million challenge that if you could prove that this data was not from the 2020 election, you get $5 million. Well, we had this big event, and every cyber guy that was there said, yeah, it's from the 2020 election, except for one. He took up the challenge. It was very corrupt. This guy, we don't even know how he got in there. He didn't have the cyber credentials, but he challenged this. He lost to the panel. Then he took it to binding arbitration in Minnesota. And during this arbitration, I wasn't even worried. I go, well, of course, it's like, are these a pair of glasses? It's not rocket science here. This stuff's from the 2020 election. And here, these three, whatever they were, judges, whatever, they did stuff that was illegal that brought in, and they ruled against us. Now, you guys, I didn't hear from this for almost a year, and this all happened in the same week. In April of 2023, on Tuesday, this was a Tuesday, the verdict came down. It said, Fox News settles with Dominion for $787 million. The very next day, the word comes out, Mike Lindell's evidence is no good. He loses a $5 million challenge. And on Friday of the same week, Tucker Carlson gets fired at Fox News. Why? Because he was going to start talking about the machines and are going to paper ballots and count it. I had been feeding him stuff all along, and Tucker was ready. So that message, what did the message that send to our country? It said, if you dare speak up about these electronic machines and our election platforms in the 2020 election, if you speak up about this, you're going to get sued, and you could end up like Mike Lindell or Fox News or Tucker Carlson. It was our silencing our voice of free speech. And then think about this: these machine companies, we paid for them. They run our elections. It's like a government entity. If you can't question them, there's something seriously wrong. Like the president and I have always talked about, and he's always said, when this happened, everybody, what they used then is that thing against me. We had I have over 300,000 people on the ground in all 50 states. Every time we got to a blocker, and it was usually a uniparty Republican blocking us at some level, and when that happened, they would point to, well, Mike Lindell's evidence is no good. Look he lost this, he lost it. So we appealed it. We appealed it in Minnesota to a court in Minnesota. Last November, they came down and said, we know, the judge said, yes, they did something wrong in arbitration, but I'm not going to overturn this. I'm not going to overturn it. And we're going, what? How do you say they did it wrong? That's what appeals are for. And he wouldn't overturn it. So then I asked my lawyers, what do we do now? And they go, Mike, there's nothing left to do. I said, there has to be. The truth needs to be out there. And they said, well, we could take it to federal court, appeals court, but the odds are 1 in millions. And it hasn't been done in 40 years, what this would entail. I said, we'll do it. I don't care what the cost is, do it. So we did that, you guys, and 2 weeks ago now, the ruling came down, and these three federal judges says, absolutely, it was done wrong. They added stuff in. Mike Lindell was right. and it got overturned. This is so huge, everybody, because now we're able to take that back to that Colorado case a month before and say, hey, judge, you know, when you put that in there that Mike Lindell's evidence is no good, wrong. Now we need a new trial. And this is where, if y'all want to get involved, it's mypillowtrial.com. You can all help out there. I don't have any money left. This needs to be appealed. We have to win. When we just got this big win on the $5 million challenge, the president even texted me, he says, Mike, what a great win. Because he knows as we fight on the ground, and he's from the top down to get to paper ballots hand counted, like 132 other countries that have banned the electronic voting machine. And over 100 countries have banned early voting and mail-in voting. You guys, if we don't secure our elections before these midterms, I told the president, I said, you know, I promise you, sir, we're not going to let these next 4 years of yours be in vain. We have to secure them. The time is now. I just did 2 speeches in the last week of how critical this is and how God has guided even the bad things. And I've told everybody, if this election would have been overturned back in December 14th of 2020 or January 6th or any time back then, we would have lost our country forever, everybody. 100% it would have been gone. You look at right now, and even the president agrees with me, we need these last 4.5 years of everything now that we've uncovered, that we brought to the administration. You guys, the stuff that he's doing out there is just amazing. And it gives us so much hope.
Yeah, and we just showed your website there, Chris, if you could bring that up, because I do want the audience to go to this website. The importance of election integrity, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we got banned off of YouTube here at Church and State because we wouldn't shut up about election integrity and the vaccine, and that's right. The kind of stuff that happens, right? Is they want to control your free speech, and those that are dare to stand up for what's true and for what is right, well, they get the hammer, and our guest Mike has faced that. Sir, let's talk about this whole electronic voting, because it still exists. This is still how we vote in the United States.
Yeah,
and
go ahead. Yeah, we have everybody. I'm going to take you back to 2020. You know, I was a former crack addict. I didn't know anything about politics until I met Donald Trump on August 15th of 2016. And, I went all in when I met him and everything. But, the 2020 election, there were so many deviations that came out of there. And I personally had checked out in November, December, I checked out numbers, traditional numbers. My strong suit is math and deviations. And I looked at all these states and counties. I'm going, this doesn't make sense. I live in Minnesota, and they're going, and Wisconsin has, 6,000 people that voted that didn't live there, that were deceased or whatever. And I'm going, but let's just say the ones that didn't live there. And this was every county in the United States. I could not imagine everyone going, hey, you guys, come on, let's go jump into Wisconsin and vote illegally. And people are genuinely good people, and it didn't make sense. So as we roll through November and December of 2020, when everybody's raising their hand and they're covering up false information, and Jack Dorsey's Twitter is so corrupt in there, and then you had Zuckerberg's Facebook and these things going on. It got down to everybody on January 4th of 2021. I was in Georgia with the president and the 2-senator runoff. If everybody remembers that, all eyes were on that, because we're going, hey man, we're going down. We got to get one of them, right? Well, I sat and I prayed. I go, you know what? It hit me. I'm going, God, please let them steal both of these senators. And you can say to me, your audience going, why would you do that, Mike? Well, I'm a marketer, and I'm telling you, if I was with them marketing the evil, I would have said, give them back a Republican so they shut up about this election, because we still have our machines, our computers to steal it. We still have 4 corrupt senators that we know of. And if they would have gave back one Republican, everybody would have said, I don't matter who was raising their hand, they go, oh, don't worry about it. We'll get them back in 2022. We'll campaign harder. No, it would have been over. But they were greedy. Evil is greedy. That's what we have going for us. They stole them both because they had January 6th as a backup. January 6th was their backup. What happened on 2 of the most important days in history, January 7th and 8th? Everyone's going, Mike, why is those important? because those are the days that 1.2 million Americans were deplatformed. If you spoke out about Jesus, the vaccine, against that, or anything to do with the elections, you were deplatformed that day off Vimeo, YouTube, Suckerbucks, Facebook, Jack Dorsey's Twitter. Everybody was wiped out. The ones that didn't speak up, or that weren't deplatformed, they were afraid to speak up because of January 6th. So our voice, everybody, went down to a little tiny dot. When I was growing up as a kid, we would turn off the black and white TVs and go down to this little tiny blue dot. That was our voice, everybody. If it went out, it was over, but it didn't go out. We turned it back and it's come back to life. And I'll tell you, and then you couple that with what they tried to do on February 4th of 2021 was the day Smartmatic sued Fox News. That started lawfare in this country. Hadn't been done since the 1700s at this widespread range. Over 200 citizens were sent in threatening letters by Dominion, threatening letters saying, hey, you keep all your material, because, and these were people that just seen stuff, seen deviations. They were afraid. They had home security system. It was like a mafia letter. I got them. I didn't care. I've seen them before back in my days, letters like this. I could care less. But what I got on January 9th of 2021 was the first evidence that showed me what I was suspecting all along. It had to be done with computers, okay? Because you could not cheat this wide range. You could not. It's impossible. But I want to tell everybody, if they would have done this right, if you go to lindelltv.com, I'm going to have it posted. I did a speech. It's how we got here, and the miracles along the way. God's miracles. Right now, back when I spoke at the Rose Garden and right before the China virus, I said, God's given us grace for such a time as this. And people over the last 4.5 years go, Mike, this doesn't feel like grace. This doesn't feel like grace. I said, oh, but it is. I said, we're the best time to be alive because I knew we needed these last 4.5 years and even longer. But here's what happened. The night of the election in 2020, if they would have predicted right, now I'm telling you, these are numbers. When you skim a casino, you skim everything because you don't want something to stand out or people are going to look into it, right? Well, on the 2020 election, you have to, when you're using computers to do this, you had to have a baseline. And they predicted Donald Trump would get 68 million votes, but actually he got close to 80 million. That's the real number. So when this started happening, you're taking votes all over the country. Had they predicted right, they would have easily covered and won Wisconsin, Arizona, Michigan, Pennsylvania, all of those states that had to shut down in the middle of the night. The reason they had to shut down is because they didn't have enough planned in their steel, so to cover all those swing states. So if that wouldn't have happened, I'm telling you, if that didn't happen, we wouldn't be talking right now. It would be over because we would have all went to bed. All the votes would have been in at 1 a.m. Biden would have won, and we would have said, you know what? We were a nation that turned its back on God. We took God out of our schools, and what did we're sorry, God. We brought this on ourselves. Everybody likes transvestites and likes men and women's sports and all this. I mean, this is what the media was brainwashing everybody, that we were the minority. But no, everybody wants lives here and whatever, just normal common sense. And that's a 90-10, like the president said the other year, 95-5. This is the people. But that was the first miracle. The second miracle was when they stole both those senators, because when they stole both of those senators, if they'd have gave back one, nobody could have got the birth, but they stole them both, and everybody went, oh, maybe there was fraud. What are we going to do? It's over. And everybody went into a panic. But then they tried to suppress us with this attack with lawfare, and that's what lawfare has done. But here, over the last, what they accomplished in January of 21, they shut down all conservative media with lawfare. That's your Fox Newses, your Newsmax, and your Salem media. Media we counted on to hear the truth. Instantly, they became weather channels that wouldn't report hurricanes or tornadoes. Anybody that's still watching Fox or Newsmax or Salem Media and think you're going to hear about what's really going on to save our country with these elections, you're not going to hear it there. It's disgusting. You're not. So, but what happened was then the media on the left just attacked and attacked people like myself, and that was the only way I could get the word out. And I said, you know what? When I came out with the movie Absolute Proof on February 5th of 21, it was seen by 200 million people, but it was suppressed everywhere. They put covers on it, false information and all this to try and suppress it. And that scared me. The media went silent on me. I said, you know what? I got to build my own platform. That was the birth of Lindell TV back then. But since then, you look at where we're at today. We have our voice beyond anything you can imagine. By the way, on January 7th and 8th of 2021, Parler, the only competition at that time to Facebook and Twitter, was wiped off the face of the earth in one day. So they were deplatformed. So everybody, but our voice didn't die. What spun out of that are thousands and thousands of podcasts like yourself. There's platforms out there, Getter, Gab, Instagram, my new one, Vocal. You have Truth Social. You have Elon that took Twitter off the thing and replaced it with X. You still have Facebook, but I would tell you, they are so bad. That guy is so bad. Just yesterday, everybody, he put a cover over Lindell TV as a whole and said contains false information. We're going after him, though, now. We're not putting up with this time around. They're not going to suppress our First Amendment right of free speech ever again. So you have this broad, our voice, and where we're at now is all these, when good things are happening, we're able to broadcast before they can suppress any hope from the people. Any hope was suppressed. So I can sit here right now and I can spend another hour telling you all the great things the president's. I met with him 4 times since he's been at the White House, and he's working from the top down. He came out with an executive order to get rid of the machines. Basically, they can't be made with foreign parts. They can't use QR codes. You're basically eliminating them all. But the states are not listening to him right now. You have Arkansas, one of the worst examples, terrible. And who runs that? Sarah Sanders. Shame on you, Sarah. Why are you doing this to Arkansas? The president wants to go to paper ballots and count it. But that's a whole other story we can talk about. But I want to tell everybody this is as we rolled into 21 and 22, and I'd be talking to the president all the time, he's out there going, hey, we got to go to paper ballots, hand count. I'm out, melt down the machines, turn them into prison bars. We're both saying the same thing. 132 countries have banned them. They banned them for a reason. The last one being Argentina 2 years ago, that one judge said, we got to get rid of these in our elections and freed the country, okay? And I said it 3-4 years ago. I said, with the technology of artificial intelligence coming in, it came faster than I could ever imagine. That coming in, who do we want regulating that? People that are selected or people that are elected? And it is critical right now. We're in a critical phase right now. You use that for evil and it's going to be over. That's the biggest alarm. Everything that comes from our election. The president knows the number one thing, period, is our election platforms. And believe me, I know what he's doing. I know what he's going to be doing, the stuff that's going to be coming out. But I want to say this to your audience before I forget. Last summer, this might have been after he got shot. I'm not sure. Maybe a couple weeks after. Maybe might have been September of last year. And we're sitting in his office. It's me and him. And he goes, Mike, they're just destroying the country. They're destroying everything. Something else had just happened. And I said, sir, God uses all things for good for those who believe. And I said, right now there's 2 buckets. I said, all these bad things that happened over the last 4 years, this is the bucket of common sense. I said, that's your bucket, sir. And people are pouring in from both sides. All the people, I don't care what party they're pouring in to this bucket of common sense. And you've given them no reason to leave this bucket once they're in there. I said, and then there's another bucket, the God, Jesus Christ. I said, they're right. And I said, people don't look to God when things are going bad or good. They look for things, God, when things are going bad. And I said, sir, things are going pretty bad. I said, this is the greatest revival for Jesus Christ in history pouring in. And he looked at me and he goes, yeah, but Mike, when we get in, I don't even know if we can fix it. in 4 years to fix all this. And I looked at him and I said, sir, with God, all things are possible. And him working through you, you'll get it done faster and better than anyone in history. And look what he's done, you guys. Look what's been going on. So anybody that looks back and says all these bad things, you're going to find out this was all in God's timing, and even the bad, God uses for good. And that's where we're at. There's so much hope right now. I'm just very excited as things start happening here. And I just want to, give that message of hope while we're on here. So much hope and so many things going on, but everybody's got to get involved. And when you do hear these good things, you've got to spread it far and wide. But anyway.
Yeah, no, I love what you just said there, because throughout church history, persecution actually gave rise to more Christianity. Read your history. Look at what the early church fathers did. It was persecution by the Romans that led to the growth of Christianity. If our country is starting to see some dark times, or we already lived through some of those things, and we're on the back end, we're trying to fix it right now, it's because of that persecution. It's because of the attacks on our free speech, on our liberty and natural rights. That's why we're seeing that rise. And so you absolutely nailed it, sir. This is where we need to be. We have to have our focus on God. That's something I love about your message as well. Every time you speak, everything goes right back to the Lord. That's always the emphasis for what you're saying. And that's what we need as a country. Ladies and gentlemen, if we're going to make America great again, it starts with God.
Absolutely. And when I did that speech at the White House that time right before the China virus, I said God has given us grace for such a time as this. A nation had turned its back on God, took God out of the schools, and all these things that happened, and people would talk to me, Mike, this doesn't feel like grace these last 4 years. And I said, God's given us grace. We already, we have to now, if you could, I've even said it too, if you're an evangelist or you're a pastor or whatever out there, if you couldn't bring people to the Lord these last 4.5 years, you're in the wrong business. I'll tell you that right now, because people are longing for hope, and Jesus is that hope. And so I'm excited. People say to me all the time on the call I did yesterday to the Cause of America, my team, they're all going, Mike, how do you stay so optimistic all the time? And they've just destroyed your business. They've destroyed everything you have. And they have. And as I sit here today, I can tell you it's been very hard. But I worry about my company and my employees every day, my employee-owned company. But yet they understand what we're up against, and they give our faith that that we're doing the right thing. And everyone out there, I encourage, just because you see all the attacks out there, and clerks, whatever, and anything you see, courage is contagious, and we all got to be courageous right now, because just when Donald Trump won, when he won, and everybody pointed going, oh, praise the Lord, it's over. Yes, it's over. Not true. My attacks went up. The attacks on me went up. They magnified it so much you can't even believe it. Well, why did they do that? Because I stand for one thing, and that's getting rid of their voting machines. We have to get rid of these computers.
Mike, I gotta pause you real quick. We got a hard break.
Yep.
I apologize for interrupting you, but we're going to come back to it, ladies and gentlemen. So there's a lot more to discuss. Ladies and gentlemen, I want all of you to be a walking billboard. Some of us don't have platforms such as Church and State, but you know what? We can wear T-shirts and engage in great conversations with Christians and patriots all across the country. Stand Up Now Apparel is the best T-shirts out there. These are American-made, owned by a Christian and a patriot, and the material, it's like getting a warm hug from yours truly. One of the better things as well is there's no tags. I hate tags. I know you do as well. I don't know how many times I've cut off a tag and ended up with a hole in my shirt. You never have to worry about that with Stand Up Now Apparel. These are the best shirts out there with the greatest messages. Let me give you a few examples. There's a T-shirt out there that says Armed with Ephesians 6 on it. I got to tell you, when I wear this in town, I get a lot of comments and a lot of eyebrow raises. There's other shirts that include pure blood in Hebrew, obviously in reference to the vaccines, and also you can get Church and State merch there as well. We've got our flagship shirt, I Was Born for a Storm, with Church and State right on it. You got to order this shirt. Go to Stand Up Now Apparel for T-shirts and hats, all of this great merch with great Christian and patriotic messages. Remember to use that promo code Church and State. And we are back. Thank you for staying with us. You're over at churchandstate.media. So let's go ahead and showcase one of our great affiliates. And of course, I'm going to MyPillow. As I said at the beginning of the show, I slept on a pillow last night. The sheets, the sheets are absolutely amazing. I love those. I need to ask Mike what he does to those. I think they're sprinkled with Liberty or something because they're just so comfortable. And the slippers as well. Oh my gosh. You want to talk about walking on a cloud? Those slippers are absolutely phenomenal. Sometimes I like to put them on with the bathrobe that you can also get there and shuffle down the street and yell at people about election integrity. It's a great look for me. So go to mypillow.com and use that promo code Church and State. Order some of these great things. Now we got energy drinks too, which I'm in need of. And in fact, I'm going to bring Mike on here real quick because you're doing a whole lot more with mypillow.com to where it's,
Absolutely.
I mean, you got shirts, energy drinks. There's a lot on here, sir.
Yeah, every product I make, I either that we've invented or we've improved is to help people. And like the sheets you mentioned, those sheets, there's so much. They come with the best cotton in the world between the Nile River, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Sahara Desert, where cotton goes longer. They're called staples, stronger than ever. That, by the way, is our president's favorite product. He always brings it up, Mike, those sheets, they're just amazing, and they are, everybody. And then you mentioned the slippers. The slippers were reverse engineered, and I wanted something you could wear all the time and wear it like a shoe. It's made with called impact gel, this patented impact gel made out of soybeans. It impacts the guy. He showed me, he goes, look at it, he hits it, puts it over his hand, he hits his hand with a hammer. It just spreads the weight out, and it's amazing. So any product you see there, like towels, our towels actually dry you. They're made to actually dry you rather than, so you have all these products, free shipping options available. But the energy drink, the Rev 7, you guys, that is no sugar, no caffeine, the healthiest energy drink. They came to me. We have exclusive rights. I was part of the development of that. It is absolutely amazing. There's no jitters. There's no, you get this mental clarity. I use them every day. I mean, they're absolutely, everybody's looking for a healthy energy drink, and it's Rev 7. So there's so much more. People come up to me all the time wherever I'm at in the country, say, Mike, I support everything you're doing. I bought every one of your products. Well, we have over 250. So I don't know. I don't think people realize that. You can go there. You can get just in the kitchen alone, the kitchen towels, the aprons, the oven mitts. I mean, there's all these kitchen products, and then we have the best coffee in history, the My Coffee. A micro brewer that I found that I turned into a big brewery. It's amazing. But all these things, the coffee there is second to none. I've drank every single cup when I was traveling and doing it at hotels. It doesn't matter what you try. I 100% guarantee this is best. By the way, all my products at MyPillow get a 60-day money-back guarantee, a 10-year warranty on all the mattress toppers, the mattresses. By the way, they ship for free right now, so you guys get those. Those are made in the USA. The best mattresses, mattress toppers. Remember, you have REM and Delta Sleep, your sleep cycles, where your MyPillow, which we've sold almost 85 million now because they actually work and help you sleep. You adjust it to your exact individual needs. But the mattress toppers and the mattress give you what's called Delta Sleep cycles. Your body needs sleep too, just like your brain recalculating. If you got a mattress, I don't care if it's a new one, and you go, well, it's just not, I wake up, I'm kind of sore, it's just not soft enough. It's not going to change. You need a different input to get a different output. You put our technology with our mattress toppers on there, you don't have to go through returning the bed or just settling with it. Use the bed, but put the mattress topper on. They don't have MyPillow's technology, and it's amazing. So I'm very excited about and this is the only, because of everybody out there. You guys kept MyPillow. There's no way. It was God's grace for MyPillow, God, and you guys supporting MyPillow as they canceled all the box stores in this country, the shopping channels. I've been debanked. We've been merchant server. I mean, everything's happened to MyPillow, the most attacked company in history, but we're still here, and I can finally say probably this last month, especially after that big win in Colorado, that we are going to make it through, and that we are here to stay. But anyone else, my lawyers at one time go, Mike, just declare bankruptcy, get rid of the machine lawsuits, and just walk away. I'm going, are you kidding me? I said, this way back. This is 2 years ago when I still had a little money left. I said, I will never do that. I'll borrow money. I will live till the last pillow is made before I would ever do anything like that and just walk away. So our country,
and walk away to what, anyway, right? Like walk away to where?
We lose our country.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we lose our country. So but no, it's I thank everybody for your support and using promo code Church and State. You guys go to mypillow.com/Church and State too, and then you get your own little platform right there, everybody. But I thank you for that. And then the other thing is, if you go to mytrial.com, mypillowtrial.com, that's where we really can use support too, because the only thing stopping me is for one thing, I can't borrow any more money now. When you have billion-dollar lawsuits against a person, they tend to not want to borrow your money. So, and I'll tell you, back in the day, they said to me, this is just the other day, I was talking to people that also got attacked back then, and they go, wow, if it wouldn't have been for donations helping me, I wouldn't have made it through. And I'm not going to mention who they all were, but every one of them said the same thing. I never did back then, because I'd be the worst grifter that ever was on the planet. You know, if you look up grifter, it ain't me. I never asked for any help. I just poured everything I had because it was too, I wasn't even thinking of that at the time. But boy, when you're out of money and you still have a country that's out there and they can't borrow anymore, you guys, we're so close to saving our country and getting rid of these machines. We need to get rid of them before these midterms and the primaries in the midterms. And by the way, and you're going to hear it, I'll announce that now, I'm very strongly considering running for governor of Minnesota. And I said I would never do it back in the day after I knew all about the machines, but I really believe that there's things that we're going to have in place where you're going to have some partially secure elections, hopefully 100% secure, but this is all a process. When they make their move, and they're gonna in these primaries and these midterms, because right now we're the ones being proactive here. We're on the offense, and anyone that thinks when Donald Trump won that was a big game too, they all pointed to him going, yeah, it's over. Nobody sat and watched that they stole 9 congressmen and 4 senators, everybody. That's 9 and 4. And they go, and some of them didn't even get come in. A couple out of California. It took 6 weeks later. They go, yep, no. Well, now they're only down by 200. And the Democrat won by 5 votes. It's up right here. And, they stole these. And I told the president, I want everybody to wrap your head around this. Before the 2024 election, I look at everything like a marketing. And I'm going, you know what? They're not going to steal the election, but they did steal 6 million votes, by the way. But they're not going to steal it. If they would have stolen it, we have gotten the word out over the last 4.5 years. The whole country would have said, open up those computers. We don't believe it. You steal it again, just like we wouldn't have put up with China virus 2.0. If they would have gave us another virus before the election, we wouldn't all be wearing masks and eating like in Minnesota, eating out in snowbanks. It'd be a total different thing, right? Fool us once, you're not going to do it twice. Same way with that election of 2024. So if they would have stolen it, we'd have probably got rid of the machines faster, because they would have said, hey, look at this. Instead of just me and others saying, open up these machines and show us what's in there. By the way, everybody, you can go to lindelltv.com. You go to the square inside the machines. All the evidence you ever want to see is there. I'm tired of people saying, there's no evidence. We've got cast vote records. We've got data files. We've got the Mesa County image from the Mesa County image. If you scroll down on Lindell TV, if you go ahead and scroll down, and then right there, stop. Go back up. Go back up. Go back up. Go back up. There you go. Now slide to the right. It'll say inside the machines. Okay, keep going to the right. To the right. No, you're too far.
There you go. Yep, those boxes, Chris.
They're right there. Click on inside the machines right there. But if you do that, you guys see all the evidence you ever wanted to see. And you got to go further to the right there. One more. Keep going. Keep going.
It's not going any further. Well, Chris, you look at that.
You can go the other way. But anyway, it's a big square. It says inside the machines. Keep going. Keep going.
There
right
it is.
There.
Inside the
one
machines.
On the end. Inside the machines. And then you click on that, you'll have all the evidence you want to see. Look at the Mesa County image. That's what Tina Peters. They're trying to suppress her, put her in prison for 9 years, being an American hero. But you guys, it's all there. But anyway, if they would have, so what they did, their marketing, they said, let's just. Now, what if they would? Why didn't they steal the House? Why didn't they just go ahead and steal the House? They let Donald Trump win, then steal the House, because it would have been the same thing. There would have been so many deviations that the public would have said, open them up, because we're on to them. Okay, we're on to them. So we're in a good position, but you can't ignore these midterms. If they steal the House, all the stuff that's going on, every efforts we've made for these will go up in flames. It'll be gone, because you think they're not planning on doing this. That's exactly what they're planning on doing.
Oh yeah, so they want the country back. Yeah, I mean they have their own insidious plans, and they want to wreck this country. That's what people need to understand. Is there is a communist agenda. They see communism as a means of controlling the people. They want it here in the United States. I got to tell you, sir, I'm behind enemy lines. I'm in Washington State. I hate this state. I'm constantly talking about the fact that I want to move. You become governor of Minnesota. Minnesota might just become a state I start eyeballing, and it hasn't been before.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, Minnesota is another problem there. We have Ilhan Omar. We're like the Trojan horse for the what's happened there with Sharia law. They want Sharia law. We've got a big problem there. It's a dual problem that's happened in our country. But I will tell you, I just did a big event. There were a lot of people from Oregon and a few from Washington State. Every single state, you guys, I'm telling you, there's hope, because we have teams in every state, and you can't just and when I say well, who stole these elections, who's behind this, everybody listen to this very closely. The deep state globalists, the CCP, and the Uniparty. We have been blocked more in states like Arkansas, Alabama, Missouri, South Dakota, and Texas than we have been blocked in Washington State, Oregon, and California. When I say our teams, there's great things going on that you don't know about in your state, but we're not making it very public, because we did that in California. We had a big win in California in Shasta County back in, we were on their books. We could get rid of the machines, go to paper. They voted to do that. And then when they just quick changed the law. This is when Biden was still in there. They just knew something. They just quick changed the law. So we pulled back and said, hey, until Donald Trump's in, let's hold back. We all move together. The successes I could tell you on this show in both Washington State and Oregon, there's two the same thing's kind of going on in both. That's why I put the two together. But there's great hope for everybody. And once, it doesn't matter if the breakthrough comes in Oregon or Maine or Minnesota or Florida or Texas. When the breakthrough comes, and it's coming, it's going to open up, and everybody will be on the same playing field. And this is going to be amazing. Remember, everybody, it only took one judge in Argentina to say, hey, we got to get rid of these computers in our elections. And it changed overnight. They said, it can't be done. We only have 4 months. They did it in 4 months. They beat the Netherlands by 1 month. Now, here in the U.S., think of this. With God, all things are possible. Think of the mask on airplanes. One judge in Florida got up one morning and said, I'm going to make a ruling. These masks on airplanes are nonsense. In 2 days, the whole world was mask-free. In 2 days. So all it is, what I'm saying is all these states are just sitting there. And you know what? States like Washington State or Illinois or California or Oregon, I hear more from them people going, and, there's hopelessness or whatever. But you also see there's people there going, hey, I want what other states where they can see, they want what they want, they're more as fighters because they're living this horrific stuff, and they've lived it. And a lot of us now have had a taste of this over the last 4 years, what a lot of these states had to live. So it's been a great eye-opening, and people are the president, believe me, isn't going to forget your Washington States or your Oregons of the world, or your Maines or your Hawaiis or even your Alaskas. We're all in this together. So, we're one nation under God.
Amen to that. And I do like what you said there, and I've said that a number of times on my show as well. Like, patriots that have the benefit of living in these great states like Tennessee or Florida or South Carolina, where things are a little bit better, they don't understand the war as well as we do, who literally live in these communist states that have been taken over. So, the fighters are definitely in those states. Sir, we hit that 45-minute mark. I told you I'd only keep you for 45 minutes. I know you're a busy guy, but I did want to leave any last words, and we'll pull up the Lindell Legal Defense Fund as well, Chris, if you can show that one more time, because I do want the audience to go here and support you. But any last words for our audience, sir?
Yeah, I just, I want to leave you all with this is like I said, no matter where you live, no matter what's going on, just like I told the president, and God uses all things for good for those who believe. And when you look at, you're going to look back, I can look back 2 years and go, this was terrible that this happened. But if it didn't happen, you wouldn't be here. So all these things that might seem really bad at the time, you got to look at it from this is a battle of biblical proportion of evil and good. And I'll leave you with this. Everyone says to me, they'll come up and go, Mike, I prayed for this. I prayed for Donald Trump to be back in right away. I prayed that these election things would be fixed by now. I prayed about this and prayed about that. And I say to them, those are reactionary prayers, and they might not be God's will. This is very important, everybody. And I said, where is God's will? God's will is in the Word. You need to, I wake up every day, you get in the Word, you read your Bibles, you get there, and now you can be proactive in prayer, and they line up beautifully. So you start recognizing, hey, God's letting this happen for this reason. And I promise you, everybody, when we get to this great place way out here, you're going to look back and say it was all on God's timing, and it was all meant to be, and God did use all things for good for those who believe. So take the time now and just enjoy it, be optimistic, and we're the greatest time in history to be alive.
I think that's one of the best closing statements I've ever heard from a guest. Get in the Word. Right there. Ladies and gentlemen, I say it all the time, but know the Word of God. This is how we win in life. Even if they take your life, you win because you end up in heaven. So thank you, sir, for reminding the audience that it's all about Christ. And please, ladies and gentlemen, support this brave man. He's a general in the lawfare. I got to tell you that. We are in a war, and if we lose the elections, there's really only one more alternative, and I don't want that. My guest doesn't want that. Nobody wants to have a civil war in these United States. We want to restore this great republic. Sir, hats off to you. Thank you again for everything that you've done. And I'm going to go ahead and close this out. If you'd stay on one more minute post-production just to say our goodbyes, I'd appreciate it. But Mike Lindell, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you again, sir. It has been a pleasure. Church and State is sponsored in part by Colonial Life Spokane Independent Agents and Finders Insurance. I'm Caleb Collier. I was born for a storm.
Welcome to the fire.
You ever see this guy with the pillows on Fox? My pillow guy, Mike Lindell. He is the greatest. The My Pillow guy. Mike Lindell. And he's been with us right from the beginning.
Whether it's being a weekend warrior or spending time with your family, feeling your best is the key to doing the things you love. That's why I'm excited to tell you about Nirvanta. It's a natural solution designed to help you stay active and live well naturally. It's perfect for your hands, feet, knees, back, or anywhere else that needs a little extra care. Simply massage Nirvanta in for at least 60 seconds, 2 to 3 times a day to get the best results. And if you're not completely satisfied, you get your money back. No questions asked. There's simply no risk and no reason not to try Nirvanta today. Right now, you get 15% off with code Lindell exclusively at nirvantahealth.com. So stop reaching out for that medicine cabinet and experience the difference. Go to nirvantahealth.com. Use code Lindell to get 15% off today. Nirvana Health. Live well naturally. If you want to drop extra pounds, boost energy levels, and reduce swelling in your legs and feet, then this message is for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to make America healthy again, and two of their best-selling health supplements are leading the way. First is Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans have a sluggish liver that's riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on the pounds, and make you feel tired. Liver Health Formula takes care of that. It supports thriving liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down and revitalize your energy levels. Next is lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, this is for you. The natural ingredients in lymph system support help gently flush away extra fluid and toxins out of your body. And right now, for a limited time, you can get 35% off Liver Health Formula and Lymph System Support, along with 50 plus other health supplements that Pure Health Research has to offer. So head over to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. That's purehealthresearch.com, promo code Lindell to save 35% on your order today.
In a new bombshell whistleblower report, a longtime Democrat staffer on the House Intelligence Committee claims Senator Adam Schiff not only approved, but actively encouraged the leaking of classified intelligence to damage then-President Donald Trump. The whistleblower told the FBI that Schiff's actions were deliberate, coordinated, and politically motivated, with the goal of pushing a narrative that would lead to Trump's indictment. In other words, part of a political operation critics now describe as an attempted coup from inside Congress. According to the account, some Democrats on the committee warned at the time that the leaks were illegal, unethical, and potentially treasonous. But the whistleblower says Schiff and his allies brushed off those concerns, insisting they were immune from prosecution. If proven true, legal experts say Schiff could face multiple felony charges, including but not limited to unauthorized disclosure of classified national defense information, conspiracy to defraud the United States by misusing intelligence authorities, obstruction of justice by manipulating investigative processes through selective leaks, and deprivation of rights under color of law, if political targeting is proven. At today's White House briefing, Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt delivered a detailed statement on the allegations.
This is obviously a bombshell whistleblower report. Hopefully more people in this room will cover it as such. And I have a quote from the FBI director for all of you. He has said this: "For years, certain officials used their positions to selectively leak classified information to shape political narratives. It was all done with one purpose: to weaponize intelligence and law enforcement for political gain. Those abuses eroded public trust in our institutions. The FBI will now lead the charge with our partners at DOJ, and Congress will have the chance to uncover how political power may have been weaponized and to restore accountability." That's what the administration is focused on, and hopefully we'll see some more media reports on this whistleblower allegation. If this were reversed, if this were allegations against the president or any of these cabinet officials, I'm sure everyone in this room would cover it as such.
The whistleblower's testimony, now in the hands of Congress, has unfortunately been largely ignored by the mainstream media. Schiff has not responded publicly to the allegations. If verified, the fallout could include a Senate ethics investigation, criminal prosecution, and potential prison time. For many legal experts, this reads like the blueprint of a criminal conspiracy to take down a president from within the very halls of Congress. Reporting for Lindell TV at the White House, I'm Kara Castronova.
To